this will be how you do your key bindings. It's real simple, and after you do it, you'll be able to use Shift instead of Control for your macros as a modifier. That's how you just click on a slot, whichever one you want to change, and then you push the button you want to change, and if it's going to overwrite something, then it'll tell you it's going to overwrite it. You can overwrite it if you want, unless it's something else that you use. So you might want to look around and make sure before you go changing anything. Once I get down here, find the actual action bar switch part of this. I'll tell you about that. Those right here should all be blank by default. I don't think you don't even have to worry about that anyhow. It's temporary bars. But these ones right here that say control normally say shift. Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And you should change those to control or whatever the hell you want, and 1, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or whatever you want to do. I use control because I don't really use it and it's still close by just in case I do. But this way, after you do that, you'll be able to use shift as a modifier key, as I said earlier. These buttons down here, wherever you have an open action bar slot, you can change the keys. Like, see, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all that crap. I use R right there because I go to about 6, and then I switch down to R. It's the easiest area for your hand to reach and still be able to push shift. So you have at least 7 buttons and a shift modifier. A lot of versatility in it. And to do it, you just click one of those little squares, and it's the same as setting a key binding in the menu up top. And that's it. Now I'll show you Ranger. I believe that's what it's called. First thing you want to do, which I use every time because by the time this is cooled down, I don't even really need it for a long time. So whenever I'm ever summoning my pet for SLEs and stuff, that's what I use. But if you're doing Chronicles or something, you might want to save that and just do the long cast. That way, if the boar dies or whatever you're using, you can pop it real fast. Then you want to put in virulent poison, leeching poison, and if you're soloing stuff, I would use this. I'm not exactly sure which of these two would be the better, but with your soloing stuff, I use this just for the extra endurance or whatever it is, you know, so it takes more damage. But if you're doing SLEs, I usually use this. Ravenous Instincts, Predatory Instincts, and Spirit of the Wilderness. This is a GTA for Rain of Arrows, and the rest of these, it's simple, but it'll take probably a little bit of getting used to. And first thing you'll do is you'll cast Splinter Shot, which will make your petattack. And the second thing you do is you hold shift and you press this button, which won't be ace shot. It'll be well, no, I think it is ace shot actually. And the third thing you'll do is you'll be holding shift and you'll press 4, and then it'll cast piercing shot. And then you want to hold shift still and press 2, which will cast headshot. And then you can just press 3 for whatever skill that is. I think it's quick shot, and for your combo builders. And it'll also cast what's that one, flame arrow or some shit, I don't know. A second. Shadow fire. So it'll be Splinter Shot, ace shot, piercing shot, headshot, and then you're going to cast quick shot until you get 5, and then you're going to cast twin shot, which is right here. It's all right here. And then you want to by that time you should be down to where you need to refresh Splinter Shot. It should have counted down, and you might as well just refresh Ace Shot too. It doesn't really matter. There's no ticking to it. It's just a debuff, really. So I would just refresh it whenever you refresh Splinter Shot, because it makes it easier that way. And that's about it for that. Feral Aggression and the other 2 buffs are in this macro as well, a few of these actually, so they'll be cast all the time. They'll cast on themselves, by themselves, you know, as you're pushing the button, but that's how you want it. The other thing is, once you get all your stuff on, you may have 5 combo points, you may not, but you don't really want to keep going to 5 combo points the whole time. You just want to go to 4, drop it, 4, drop it, 4, drop it. And that's how you want to do it, because it's, I've just noticed that it's better for DPS that way. Plus that, and all your ticks end up being cooled down better that way, which I'm not too great at yet, but you'll see what I mean. I'll show you. Basically it. The whole rotation, the way I explained it, that's how it's done. So it's no shift modifier to start out with for Splinter Shot, and then hold down shift 3 and 4, 2, and then let go of shift and start popping 3 so you get 4 again. And then just use twin shot until you need to reapply, which usually you don't, because there's usually a marksman that applies a skill that's like piercing shot. So if you notice that piercing shots counter disappears before it even gets to 0, just stop using piercing shot. You don't have to apply that anymore, and that'll give you a little bit more DPS. So that's how that works out. And it usually is that way, because there usually is a marksman doing that. And I don't know why, but they leave it so you can just see yours disappear. So don't waste any energy on trying to reapply it if you notice that. And other than that, you can just reapply all the other stuff, Splinter Shot and Ace Shot, and then just keep dropping at 4. Twin Shot. And what Headshot does is it gives you a buff right here. It gives you damage. And I think, I'm not sure what it is at 5. 60 seconds at 5. And it's probably 40 or 50. 40 or 50 seconds at 4. So you don't really have to refresh it too often. Shadow Fire and the rest will be auto-refreshed, so you don't really have to worry about that. If you really need to place Rain of Arrows somewhere, you might want to have it just to be able to place it somewhere. But usually you don't. So you have this macro just to drop it on the target. Spam that and just keep dropping on 0s as long as you want to. And that's about it for Hunter. All the macros will be in the description. So just, I think it's about, click about, and it will be in the description. I think you have to click see more or something about it. Alright, I'm going to show you Saboteur. Saboteur is probably one of the easiest purposes I've ever played. First off, you're going to want to know, have your buffs on, which is Hellfire Blades, trap extensions, so you don't drop a trap at your feet, it drops it on whatever you have target. Second thing is focus, because in this macro I'm about to show you, it has cast at focus for Incriminate, which can be dangerous if you're not close enough to whoever you focus, which should always be the tank. Anyhow, when you want to clear your focus, you can click it without anything selected. It'll clear your focus. When you want to set your focus, you click whatever you want to focus, and you click focus. Same thing with over here. You click focus, deselect, clears focus. But I don't know if I can cast Incriminate on myself or a target dummy, so I don't think I can do that, and it might not show correctly, but it works. We're going to try it anyhow. Alright, I'll show you. It's just one button, this one. Charges on there every so often. If the fight goes on really long, it may go off track with reset. So you might want to just pop it every now and then to make sure that you have enough charges before this cools down. Fragmentation Bomb. But it should go without a hitch. And if you want to, I'll show you the macro. If you want to, you can take out this, which all of this macro and focus macro will be in the description below. But if you want to take it out, it'd probably be safer for you, but it's a good thing to have, just in case you accidentally pull another mob or something like that. And that's about it for Saboteur. I mean, just one button and set up whatever the hell else you want to do except for focus. Alright, I'm about to show you how Bard works, at least for me. First thing, you want to make sure you have all your buffs up, which should be obvious. And these two right here, Anthem of Fervor and Anthem of Glory, do overwrite. I'm not exactly sure what souls they overwrite, but I use this and it usually is fine. I don't think I've ever seen overwriting, but usually if you do, they might tell you that it overwrites, because it's the same skill, and if somebody else has that skill, let them do it and do the other, Anthem of Fervor. And if they have Anthem of Fervor, then use Anthem of Glory. But for the most part, you'll probably just be using Anthem of Glory. And multiple oscillations are for mobs, but if you're doing single target, you don't really want to have that on, because it'll limit how much damage you do. This is good for healers that go out of mana real fast. If you see anything like that, like over here on Clickbox Healer or wherever else, whatever you have to see, pop that, and that should give them what they need for to withstand a fight. Orchestra, Occlusion, and Virtuoso are your main cooldowns, I believe, that you're going to want to use. Also, Verse of the Vitality. And these are all things that you just have to use by situation. so I'm not really going to be showing you too much of those. But these 3 macros right here are going to be what you have through the whole thing, except for Coda of Cowardice. And I have Harmonic Distortion linked on Clickbox Healer, so I don't lose my target, and I just see I can heal whoever I want and it'll stay on target. Just one click whoever I want to heal throughout the whole raid or party or whatever you're doing. First thing you want to do, and well, no, yeah, the first thing you want to do is get your motifs up. They only last 15, or no, yeah, some last more than 15 seconds, whatever. You want to get those up, and then when you're casting Cadence or Cadenza, you get up to 5 combo points, and you hit Restore or whatever you're going to do. I don't remember the skill name for it, and it'll refresh it all, as long as you have 5 combo points. It'll refresh it if you don't, but it's a lower chance to refresh them. So it's best to have 5 combo points before these run out, so you can refresh them. The second thing, which in the beginning of a fight, if you really need to be helping out with heals or damage or whatever you want to be doing, you want to probably just go with 2 combo points and then pop one of your debuffs. 2 combo points again, pop a debuff. 2 combo points again, that way you get your debuffs up there. Because it doesn't really matter at first. You get that short one up and then you can fill up and get a few combo points up there. It's just better off that way to be able to get all the way up. So you go 2, done, 2, done, 2, done, and go on and do your full combo point setup. Make them longer. That way you don't have to wait so long to get your points up. And then they'll last really long. Just check on them every now and then and refresh them. Other than that, that's how you heal. And I'll show you the macros before, which you'll be using a shift modifier to use. It's very simple. This is the only one you don't have to worry about. But now that you have, after you get 5 combo points, you get one of these. It's either harmonic, I think it's harmonic energy. And you can cast that to heal whatever you want for spot heals, just to help out if you really need to. But it's not really a great heal, and it's a dire situation, mainly for yourself. But at least it'll help you get something off. And then for damage, you hold shift and hit these same macros. And you'll be able to get up there and do those. Which I'll show you those macros here in a second. And they'll be down in the description regardless. And that's basically it. Everything else like these, which is just like raid-wide heals, besides your, I think it's Cadenza, are all situational. So you want to use it whenever you think is necessary. Before you use Virtuoso, however, you want to make sure that you have 5 combo points, because what it does is it allows you to just spam your heal or your damage, whatever you do. I usually use it for damage, unless the healers need help. As you can see, it lasts a long time. And that's about it. I'll show you these macros real quick. And these are about all you'll need. You got power cordon for Cadenza, because when you're doing damage you don't really need to keep that cadence on there. The cadence, it's good to have that constantly running. And when you have to stop for power cord to pop in, it kind of messes everything up. You want to keep cadence up and going, and it doesn't really matter too much for DPS. It's actually better even because it does the damage. So that's why it's like this. And then for your restore, which would be Code of Restoration, Verse of Agony is on there just for a little bit of extra oomph. and riff for a quick 5 combo point thing, whenever you want to use it. But if you just tap it once, you'll do Code of Restoration, and if you hold Shift, you'll do Wrath for DPS. But mainly you want to be doing heals, usually, unless they want you to pump out some DPS if you have to knock something down, help out, knock something down, whatever it is. Then you have your 2 codas of your debuffs, and those are all on one, so you hold Shift, pop one, let go of Shift, pop the other, and 2 for cowardice, unless you have it set up differently, which it doesn't really matter, whatever you're most comfortable with. But I have everything set up with keybinds for Shift and instead of Control, because when you hit Shift, if you don't change it, it'll do this. It'll switch your action bar. That's why I changed it for Shift, because Shift is closer. It's easier to reach 1 through 6 in R, and whatever other buttons you want to set up to do that. And that's about it for bar. Well, wait, no, there's one more thing. Multiple oscillations, which basically just does this. You'll hit 3 people instead of 1. Which you want to use on mobs, period, because it gives you way more healing than it would. And I think DPS too, I'm not too sure about it though, I haven't really paid attention to it. And Power Chord also works with multiple oscillations, so it'll hit 3 instead of just 1. And that's about it. Now I'm going to show you Assassin. There's really only 3 buffs you need to know for Assassin. The other ones are mainly like if you want to do PvP, but even in PvP you want to use these probably. But for PvE I don't really suggest doing melee, but if you really want to, this is probably your best bet, because it pumps out a lot of damage and it all goes real fast. Sustained damage I'm not too sure about, but things are usually dead before you have to worry about sustained damage. Should be self-explanatory to be behind as a rogue, as an assassin, and this will be your macro for stealth, and then you have the other macros that were on this, the unstealthed action bar. And there is, I think it's quick shot or something like that, I can't remember which one it is, but you have to make sure that you're close enough or else you'll start shooting at stuff. So make sure that you're close enough to whatever you're shooting at. Exactly sure if all my cooldowns were off yet or not, but that's, I've seen this build get up into 25, I think, like right off the bat instantly with 5 combo points, even though you have 0 to begin with. But that's pretty much it for that. And then you have your combos here, but you'll mainly be using these 2. This is just to charge and stuff really, and to heal yourself. But you don't really need to use that too often. If you're in melee, you should know how to get out of stuff, but if you're in a pinch, that'd probably be the thing you want to use. 2 is for slip away, which I already used, because disconnects helps you with your DPS while you're hitting stuff up. But if you're at range, this is what macro will do. You'll shoot whatever quick shot, I think that is, the finisher for ranger. It's either ranger or marksman, too. But that will help you to get up on people fast. Do a speed buff. And I'll show you the macros real quick. These will all be in the description, so you don't really have to pause and write anything down cooldown, doesn't really matter. But you have your health, your control over here, sip away, and these two right here, threat of death, I believe it is, might actually be in this macro. I'm not too sure about that, but these two right here you can use to apply what is it? Whatever it is, serrated blade, jagged strike, and what it is, you know, it's the bleeding debuff, and I don't know, it's just whatever, just use them. Yeah, it'll apply this one right here. I think exposed weakness is also in here too, so you don't really have to worry about it. It's pretty cut and dry, but, you know, when you're in melee, you gotta be light on your toes, so I don't use it very often unless it's something that will be better for the situation, like Chronicles and stuff like that. Now I'll explain a little bit about the tanking preset, which is pretty simple. I like it a lot myself, and the macros that come with it that I came up with. Now I have all of your cooldowns, all of my cooldowns, all right here, just so I can pick one out singularly and combine them as needed. But usually for most fights, if you actually need to use them, I have them all in one combo, or one macro, so you just hit it once and you're good to go. You have Instigate on the number 2 macro, and what is it? Interrupt on the 3. So it'll be in combo and all that stuff. And all these macros will be down in the description. First thing you want to do is make sure you have these up, which this is Plane Bound Resilience and Planar Splash in one, because I was trying to save buttons, clearing up some room. But sometimes you'll have to take Planar Splash off, so just cast it and then remove it. Let's see here. Those are the ones you want to have mainly. I've never really had to use these before, but you can. And Planar Reversal, I never use, because of all the times you have to keep a boss turned a certain way, and you don't want to end up popping behind them. However, if you want to pop behind them once, it might be alright to have it on for the initial pull, and then turn it off. So that way, the bosses turn immediately. Other than that, I use Clickbox Healer to cast a couple of my skills. One being Physical Wellness, and the other, if I can find it real quick, Acquittal, which will shield somebody for a little while and replace their toughness with your toughness. You keep your toughness, I believe. It doesn't switch it off, but that's how that works out. So if you see somebody getting hurt, it's real nice to just be able to click on them, and you're still on, you know, your target. I need to change that macro a little bit though, because it's not doing it perfectly. And then, as the pool goes, when you first come in, you want to get Guarded Steel up immediately, and they'll all pop up here because I have I think it's Karul alerts that lets me know my countdowns and stuff, so I don't have to be searching around here in the box. And that's pretty much it. You can use this here for, you know, line of sighting a boss or a group or anything like that. But basically, I'm just going to show you the main thing that you want to do. First, you want to start out with Shadow Blitz. I don't think that's the right one. No. I have the wrong one showing, but it looks way cooler than Shadow Assault, I think it's called. But it'll be Shadow Assault you start out with in this macro. And first you pop in, turn the boss however you want to turn it, Guarded Steel, and you use number 3 for Phantom Blow and whatever the other skill is. Let's get your combo points up, and you do Guarded Steel again. And for these two, which I don't know the names of, you only need 1 combo point for the first one. The second one is, I'll have to look at it. It doesn't require any combo points, it just has a cooldown. And Wrath of the Plains is the one that requires a combo point, but it doesn't really do a great deal of DPS, so you don't really have to worry about it too often. I haven't max combo points for it. And you really want to be pumping out Planar Strike for Soul Coalescence, because when it gets up to 20 stacks, you can use it to negate some damage. And let's see here. There it is, Rift Disturbance. That's the other one. It doesn't require any combo points whatsoever. And those two should be up all the time. I even use it on casters and stuff too, so just use it all the time, it'll help you out. And as the situation calls for whatever you need, pop one of your cooldowns for whatever you need them for. Read through them, know what they do, but the order in which I use them that works the best for me is just like this, from left to right. And Prison, which doesn't work on these guys, is in a macro to switch back to your main target. So if you need to imprison somebody, click them, hit prison, it'll switch back to your main target. And that's about it for tanking, other than learning all the fights and knowing what to do